Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. How's everybody doing, man, on this Monday? Man, I've been so damn busy that, man, I haven't been able to come out here and do some of these videos. But I'll tell you what, let's do this. Because I am going to talk a little bit of boxing here. And I just want to get this, let me get this right here stretched out. There we go. Because y'all know I'm in the house even when I'm not in the house. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't about me right now, my big ass head. It's about these fighters, man. Anyway, man, there's going to be some Fight Night Madness coming up. Don't take it to the stupid. Let's give y'all the boxing roll-up. Now, look, I ain't here to spend a whole damn hour talking about this chick. But I'll just go ahead and just, lead in talking about Claressa Shields, the Backlash conversation. And then we'll transition to all these other fighters I got on here, okay? Now, we're talking about Claressa, we're talking about Shadasia Green. Now, what actually matters here is there's a moment circulating that has people debating, right? When it comes to the reaction by Claressa Shields, was it misunderstood? Did it lack awareness? When it comes to Shadasia Green and her losing the fight, and now we know what happened. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Shadasia has bleeding on the brain. Seems to be getting better. But I still recognize that, although what happened to Shadasia is very unfortunate, 99% of us feel a kind of way about that. There are some people who are split on this. They say, look, it's boxing, not charity, right? They're like, fighters are competitive. Emotions run high. Not every moment is going to be sensitive. You guys need to stop being so soft. But then the 99.9% is saying, hey, yo, hold your horse and stop taking to the stupid. There's a line. When a fighter appears hurt or vulnerable, or when you find out, or you see that a fighter is hurt and you find out, okay, there's something more going on than just somebody losing a fight, the expectations change. And see, fans expect basic humanity before rivalry and before people coming out here taking to the internet and getting in front of a camera and taking to the stupid. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is hitting hard right here, okay? There are people who are very emotional over Shadasia Green. And what they now know was going on inside that ring, when you just saw her after like the fourth round or so, fourth or fifth round, just start to lose momentum and saw Lonnie Daniels come out stronger and stronger. And that's why for Claressa, who's already, hey, look, she's accomplished, but that shit doesn't even matter anymore. She's outspoken and she's polarizing to some fans. But when a controversial moment happened, it doesn't exist in isolation. And for Claressa, it added to her existing narrative that she is toxic and she should be canceled. And she definitely isn't the greatest woman of anything. And that's why reactions feel amplified, man. Critics feel validated. Supporters feel defensive. But I tell you what, a lot of her supporters are no longer supporting her. And I think that's interesting when you have the Guodies, like I said in another video, put down the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and say, you know what, we ain't messing with that, Hood. We out here going after granola cereal, man. We put down the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We getting Frosted Flakes. We want something else now. Because they understand the reality when it comes to how Claressa's damaging her image. They know. In boxing, look. Very few careers are destroyed by moments like this. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of careers that can be destroyed. You see, history shows winning fixes perception. Time reshapes narratives. Accountability can build respect. But when you come out here every single day, attacking people, attacking fans, attacking fellow boxers, being toxic, you know what I'm saying? Your reputation gets tarnished. Every moment gets scrutinized. And then you have fans who were once supporting you. Even within your own little congregation, they become divided. They jump ship. And nobody likes you. And I'm going to tell you, I think everybody wants to be liked. I don't care what anyone says. Nobody wants to walk around here and be disliked. And that's what's happening to Claressa Shields. She's not liked. That's because fans are out here and they're calling for accountability. You know what I mean? They're looking at her promoters and they're like, accountability. As far as brands, endorsement deals, they're saying, we understand why they don't want to touch her. And we 100% believe nobody's going to touch her. Going at the Ali family was one thing. Being out here on the internet, just being toxic is another. But to come out here and laugh at a fellow fighter who was a friend of hers, who collapsed off of her stool, to come out there and laugh at that, just for us to find out that that individual, Shadasia Green, had bleeding on the brain. That has totally destroyed Claressa Shields' brand. Maybe her brand before that was fractured, but I'm telling you, it's totally destroyed. She has no brand. Matter of fact, her brand is being toxic. And she's gonna have to sustain a long-term impact of that. Because there's nothing I don't think there's anything she can do to get people to see her in a different light. Again, she still has a very small percentage of people who support her, but it is affecting her revenue. Okay? Now, I know Demetrius Salita and Win Records, people are looking at them like, what are y'all going to do about this? Because their brand is taking a hit now. And we know promoters care about draw, they care about performance. And will she continue to draw in Detroit? I mean, probably. Because I tell you, most of the people I talk to who go to her fights out there, they all seem to be on that. Not all of them, but I say 99% of them are on the same wavelength as Claressa Shields. Loud, cussing, carrying on. Now, there again, remember, there's a hand select few who are not like that. But the most of them, it's the same thing. A bunch of noise, cussing, carrying on, just acting their shoe size. But I tell you what, Demetrius Salita and Win Records, they're looking crazy right now. Because people are out here, man, and I'm seeing, I'm listening to what they're saying. I'm seeing the messages. I'm seeing the comments. People want to take down not just Claressa, but also Demetrius Salita and Win Records. All of this because of Claressa Shields and her decisions to revolve around just being a villain, trying to go viral, being as nasty as she possibly can. Instead of coming out here trying to have a good attitude, be an example, figure out how to work beyond whatever is bogging her down, to be so aggressive and so nasty, and to come out here and start trying to revolve all of her social media presence and everything she's doing around business. But anyway, Hood Champion has nothing really to say about Claressa. I have no expectation for her anymore. I'm just looking at this whole situation and I'm like, you know what, man? Claressa is really destroying herself. You know what I'm saying? Everything this woman touches, everything, it just gets destroyed. And I think she is one bad, I don't even say it's on her. I think it's one bad decision away from Claressa Shields to really be down on her hands and knees, praying to God for strength. And I think it's going to be with Papoose. And I ain't here to talk about their relationship. I just think that's what's next for that to fall apart. I'm just being honest with you. It's too much going on. But that being said, Shadasia's getting better. That's really all I care about. Now, Amanda Serrano. This is the person here that Claressa was trying to talk like And me, Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. Those two women don't want Clarissa even mentioned in their names. They don't want any favors from her. They're like, it ain't my birthday. Why you bringing me gifts talking about me in a positive light? They don't want to hear nothing from Claressa Shields. And I can't blame them. But one thing for sure is Amanda Serrano is going to be fighting Cheyenne Hansen on May 30th in Texas. And then, depending on what happens there, Amanda Serrano and Alicia Baumgardner could be scrapping. Now, Serrano's an elite volume puncher, has experience at the highest level, proven in big fights. Her opponent, less proven at the elite level, but it's a big opportunity. I think Serrano wins pretty clearly, probably a stoppage. For those saying, well, what is this fight? If you're predicting it's going to be a knockout, what this fight really is, Hood? It's just a stay busy fight for Serrano. A showcase, another knockout, a step up for, I think, a step closer towards breaking that record for the most knockouts. And definitely it keeps her active, knock the ring rust off so they can make her against Alicia Baumgardner. So we're just waiting on her getting through the fight, then we'll get an announcement that Serrano and Baumgardner is in the works. And that is going to be a mega fight. Now, Deontay Wilder, I mean, a lot of us have an opinion on old Deontay, Mr. Bomb Squad and shit. But I'm going to tell you this, it looks like he has a couple options in his return fight. Could be Joshua White. I don't know what Wilder's going to do, but hey, he could be fighting one of those guys. Now, Wilder versus Joshua, I've done a video on this. I don't think Wilder stands up to AJ, but it's going to be power versus technique. Both of them are vulnerable under pressure. Some say it's a 50-50 fight. I think AJ knocks him out in the first round. And this whole thing about if Wilder lands clean, it's going to be a KO. I don't think he lands clean. He goes straight back. He doesn't have the confidence to pull the trigger. And he's not shooting that punch straight down the pipe anymore like when he was with Mark Breland. So I think Joshua comes in, round one, controls the distance, and right there towards the end of the round, he knocks Deontay Wilder out cold. Just my opinion. Now, for Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte, well, Dillian Whyte's called him out. So who wins that fight? I think this is a fight Wilder can win. As long as he doesn't let Whyte get on him like he let Chisora, because Whyte may knock him out with that left hook. But the thing is this, Whyte's hittable. He fades under heavy shots. So Wilder has a really good chance to do the business here and get a victory. But we just got to wait and see because Dillian Whyte just looks like he has nothing left. Wilder like he have a little bit of life left, but neither one are on a half tank again. A half tank, you know what I'm saying? They both Wilder's like quarter tank. Dillian Whyte is nothing. He has nothing. That shit is empty. That car is there on the side of the road somewhere. But speaking about a car being on the side of the road, or at least will be soon, it's Conor Benn if he gets in that ring with Ryan Garcia. Now that's supposed to be the next fight in August, Benn against Ryan Garcia, which Ryan Garcia is going to knock him out cold. But now you got Conor Benn's dad, Nigel Benn. He's asking for Conor Benn and Eubank Jr. to have a trilogy at 168 pounds. Now, I'll tell you what, there's going to be some big money there. That fight's bigger than ever now because everyone's going to want Eubank Jr. to beat the shit out of Conor Benn because how Conor Benn is out walking around here like he's the big dog and how he treated Eddie Hearn. But with that trilogy talk, that just means, you know, money and legacy. But the major factor would be at 168 with no rehydration clause, and I think Chris Eubank Jr. does the business. But we just have to wait and see what happens. Eubank Jr. You probably have to sign to damn Zuffa Boxing, but that would be an interesting fight for Conor Benn to fight Eubank Jr. at 168. But to see Conor Benn continue to go up and down in weight, I just don't think that's smart. So his dad Nigel wants it. Let's see if they can make that fight. I got Eubank Jr. winning that fight. At 168, no rehydration clause, Eubank Jr. wins. Now, I will say this. I'm glad to see people recognize that Eubank was compromised before that second fight and the first fight. But I just think a third fight at a fair weight removes excuses. And that's just how I see it. Now, talking about excuses. Edgar Berlanga. This man got more excuses than a man about to go to prison, don't he? His career's at a crossroads, boy. Coming off a loss to Canelo, won to Hamza Shiraz, got new promotional expectations with Zuffa. He needs some credibility. He needs a legit win. None of this hype bullshit. He needs a legit win, man. Can he do it with Zuffa? I don't know. I heard he signed like a 3-fight deal, some big money. Good for him. That's all I can say. But he got to win. And that's one thing I hope these guys that Zuffa's bringing over, I hope they win. But I hope these fighters understand they're going to be in 50-50 fights. They're not here to play. They don't want to see someone get in the ring and tickle each other, coochie coo and chicken peck. No, they want to mash up, crash up. They want somebody to get, like Turki Al-Sheikh said, he wants blood and broken bones. That's what they want. So Edgar Berlanga better, I hope he understands what he's getting himself into. But he can't afford to lose again. If he loses again, it's over for him. Now, talking about somebody who may be worried about losing is Alicia Baumgardner. Of course, it looks like she's going to be fighting Serrano after Serrano gets done with her fighting me. But Baumgardner and Caroline Dubois, there is some pressure right there. Man, there's a lot of pressure right there. You know what I'm saying? Baumgardner is, she's the A side. But I'm going to tell you this. When a demanded fight doesn't happen, fans are going to assume avoidance. Alicia's putting duck sauce on the fried rice. Hold your horses, stop taking it to the stupid, and just fight Caroline. But I think the negotiations will probably be complex. And I think for Alicia, she's like, the timing just isn't right. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is this. I'm going to tell you. Caroline Dubois is a high-risk fight for Alicia. That's what the problem is. But if Alicia can beat Caroline Dubois, well, it's a very high reward. Because she basically came out here and clipped the young bull, the young lioness. And let everybody know, like, hey, Caroline Dubois, between 130 and 135, she was the most promising up-and-comer. And I just came out here, man, and took a scalp. So y'all shut the F up and leave me alone. But what I will tell you is the longer this fight delays, the more people are going to criticize Baumgardner, and the more that pressure is going to build. And I think it's at a point right now to where she should be fighting Caroline. It's just my opinion. I understand her going for the money. I get it. Fight Serrano, and after that, go and fight Caroline. So by then, Caroline probably would have had 2 more fights. So again, the fight builds. Now talking about a fight building is AJ versus Tyson Fury. It's been building for years, man. It looks like we could get it this year, but now you got a star power debate. You know what I mean? If there's no central deal maker like Turki Al-Sheikh, the biggest problem is going to be the A-side money split. You know, he's a global commercial star. Fury got the personality, boxing credibility. He just returned after a 2-year hiatus, 3-year, whatever it was. But nobody really looking for Fury like they're looking for AJ. AJ has Jake Paul KO'd and unfortunately lost his friends. AJ's got the storyline behind him. But I can see that getting ugly over the A-side bullshit, which I think Joshua should be. That's why if Turki Al-Sheikh's involved, Joshua can negotiate his purse. And Fury can negotiate his own, and we don't have to hear any bullshit. But talking about hearing crap, Jerome boots Ennis and Xander Zayas. I think somebody is going to bite someone over this damn debate. You know what I'm saying? Because Ennis can fight, but it's more like he has eye test dominance. Zayas, he can fight, but it's like resume building. So who wins? You know what I'm saying? Ennis has speed, he has explosiveness. Zayas has structure, he has discipline. People go to slight edge towards Ennis because of his talent ceiling, but Zayas, he got the experience. He's fought champions. He's at 154. He's a natural 154 pounder. He's a big boy. So Zayas brings some experience with him into that ring, especially at 154 pounds. So fans are split on this fight. That's a real 50-50 fight, man. And I'm looking forward to it. Now, talking about something we're looking forward to is Gerald Big Baby Miller fighting Peril. Now, Big Baby Miller, I'm hoping that his hairpiece don't come flying off again. But his appearance and his last fight was just something out of a damn movie. You know what I'm saying? He got hit with a punch and his damn toupee came off. And I think when he gets in there against Peril, southpaw, counterpuncher, technical, I think if he has another toupee, that shit's going to get knocked off his head too. Miller brings pressure, volume, he's durable. But if you ask me, I'm telling you right now, I think Peril's going to stop Miller. Southpaw, counter-punching, got some pop. Miller's there to be hit, I think, by 6th round at the latest. I think Peril stops Hunter. It's just the counter-punching and forward pressure, man. That shit equals danger. You know what I'm saying? Now, moving on, you got Shakur Stevenson. Let me tell you, he got a big fight problem. He should have never beat the shit out of Teofimo Lopez. Came out here and bing, bing, Tia all over the damn ring. Now he's out here, can't land big fights. You know, he got a whole lot of skill and still seems to be low financial upside for opponents. So they're like, why in the hell would I fight Shakur? The man is a defensive genius. And he's not necessarily a fan-friendly fighter to some. Those who appreciate the sport appreciate him, and I think he's a badass fighter. But I tell you what, when it comes to the politics of boxing, sometimes promotions can mess things up, networks can mess things up, and the timing can mess things up. He's talking about fighting Murataya, he's talking about going to 147, fighting at 140. Shakur don't know what he want to do. But I mean, damn, to talk about fighting at 135 all the way to 147, those are huge swings in weight, you know what I mean? So we just got to wait and see. What Shakur Stevenson decides to do. But the reality is, he's just too good, man. You know, I had my questions about him going into the Zepeda fight, but not anymore. He's just too good. He's too risky for these guys who want to stay undefeated and continue to make decent money. But at the same time, Shakur is not, yes, a must-pay opponent. You know what I'm saying? He's just not quite there. But anyway, looking forward to see what he does. I kind of like that Shakur Stevenson-Murataya fight. That sounds good. But he'd have to go back down to 135. And most guys move up in weight, they don't come back down. So we'd have to wait and see. But the bottom line, man, the boxing world is on fire. Always Clarissa Shields involved with something. And Wilder's next opponents. AJ, Fury, Shakur, Jerron. It's always something. So I try to, separate the facts from the narratives and we can just have a conversation. But real fight predictions, man, across the sport of boxing. But let's see what happens with all these fighters. But the Claressa Shields, I don't really have nothing to say about her. Like I don't. You know what I mean? She got some work to do. Dillian White, I think he gets destroyed by Wilder. Gerald Miller, I like him, but I think Peril gets him. Edgar Berlanga, good luck on whatever he's doing. He's kind of wild. Conor Benn, I mean, what a joke. And Deontay Wilder kind of is what it is with Wilder. But I'll always root for Wilder, but I just don't know what the future holds. Anyway, man, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.